Now it is, I think, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. You let me know when you need to begin.
Ma'am, you're welcome to start. It's just
Okay.
that your presentation seems to have gone off again.
Okay, good evening to everyone. How many participants are with me today? 38 are there, right?
Yes,
So,
ma'am, 38. I'm
uh,
sure
more
we'll have
references.
as
Okay. Before I start, let me hear it from you all. How has it been? And it's been a fortnight since we met. So, if you could quickly message me the learnings and the applied knowledge that's happened in the last 2 weeks. What is that one thing that you remember, you've been practicing, that you liked, you have carried with you from the previous or the first session? If I can quickly get that in your chat window, I'll be very happy. With that, I can take it forward. Yes.
Ma'am, what was it that you have asked?
Yeah, I was asking, what's your learning from the last 2 weeks? If at all, there's something which you've been applying or practicing, remembering from my session, what is it? Okay, more colorful vegetables. Okay, variety of fruits and vegetables. Good, good seeds are the mood enhancer. Wonderful. Because end of all this, it's not about spending 2 hours here. It is about what we practice. So that is very, very important. And how many of you are attending the session for the first time? If it's only first time, text me. If you've been with me last 2 weeks, doesn't matter. I want to know how many are attending for the first time. Quick answers, please, so that we can move on.
Not many, I guess.
Oh, yeah, good. I'm so glad that the number, whatever, the 40 odd people, what we have, are people who have been coming back for the sessions. I'm so very glad. And it speaks a lot about the organizing committee. It speaks a lot about the program your people have been doing. And it reiterates the fact that you are with me in the session. So thank you so much. So let's
Speaks a
begin.
lot about the resource person.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, so far, we are in the third session and we have one left, and the last one, as I told you from the beginning, it's an open session. Any suggestions or any requirements have come so far, madam, regarding what topic that they require, since it's an open session?
ma'am, we've been given all sorts of suggestions in the feedback form. I think when all of them come in, we will collate it and suggest the ones which are most common.
Fine. So just to reiterate the fact that it is open so they could give it. Fine then. So what do you think about today's topic? Food, family, and health connect. So what is your expectation from today's topic? What are we looking at this? Can I hear it from your chat box, please? What is it that we are expecting from this session? Food, family, and health connect. Your expectations from the sessions, please. Quickly, one round word or a couple of words of answers for me. You're all with me? Quickly, I need people to be quick with your responses. What is your expectation? If 40 of you have decided to spend your next 2 hours with me. Okay, healthy life, says Kalyani. How to make our kids stay healthy, little away from junk, Indra madam says. Okay, it's very, very important. So based on your expectations, I can go ahead. So for me, it's very important. Importance of balanced diet. Yes, I've been talking about in the last 2 sessions, and that is something so important. So I may be talking again about that. On the hand, we say a family that eats together stays together, but in family of 6 due to race. Okay, okay. Food mainly vegetables. Okay, okay, good. Thanks. Thank you for that. Yes, we understand that food, family, and our health are connected. Absolutely connected. We think that we are in a disconnected system. No, but we are all connected in the web of life. So, in that sense, today's topic, that is food, family, and health connect. My question to you is good health important to you and your family? If yes, why is it important? Why is good health important to you and your family? Why is it important? Why is good health important to us? How to convince children to eat vegetables, varieties, okay, foods with, okay. Why is good health important to you, not just to you and your family? Quick answers, please. Today I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. Yes, for a healthy lifestyle, for because health is wealth. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Any more answers there? Absolutely. So you said it right. So it is very important. In that case, on a score of 10, how important is eating healthy food for you? On a scale of 10, how important is eating healthy food to you? I'll ask you both the questions. There's another question next to that. So you could answer together. The question number 1 is how important is eating healthy food to you? Lowest being 1, highest being 10. And the next question is how much do you think you know about healthy foods and healthy eating? Again, on a scale of 1 to 10. First was how important you think, and second one is how much do you think you know about it? Honest. So you can give me answers for both. Okay. Give me 6 by 6 or 10 by 10 together. Give me both the answers, please. Okay. First question. Yes, I think most of you are giving me the answer for the first question. So it's a complete 10. When we are talking about the second question, it is 10 is to 7, 10 is to 6. Look at that answer. Yes, 10 is to 6. Okay. So with an average being 6 or 7, which means to say that all of us know that healthy eating, healthy food habits is so very important. But when it comes to how much we know about it, there's a deficit. There's a huge gap between what we need to know and what we already know. But it is so very important how much we are all connected. I'll just start with a little story. There was this gentleman. His name was FRSM. FRSM. Fat, rich, sick man. He was fat, obese, he was rich, he was sick. Sick in the sense he would always feel lethargic. He was never active. He never started his day on a positive note. At the dining table, he would never feel hungry. He was never able to sleep well. The quality of sleep, the length of sleep, that was insufficient. His morning habits was always a painful affair. He was grumpy, irritated at home and at his workplace. People would wait, oh my God, when is he going to go away from us? Move out. His presence is so annoying, he's so irritable. And he always feels lethargic, dull, and with his second name being Rich, he had consulted a whole lot of doctors seeking answers for his health issue. And all the blood parameters, everything was textbook perfect. Everything used to be fine, but the doctors were not able to figure out why his digestion was not okay, his energy levels were not okay, his sleep was not okay, his social health. In fact, I have defined health for you, I think, in the very first session. WHO defines health as not just a mere absence of disease, but health is a complete state of physical, social, mental, and spiritual, emotional, and spiritual well being. So, in that context, he was neither physically healthy, socially healthy, emotionally healthy, or cognitively healthy. So, he was a sick man, fat, rich, sick man. He was very, very unhappy about his status. One day, he heard about a holistic healer, a practitioner, has come to his city. And he heard very good reports about this gentleman, this holistic healer. So FRSM went to this medical practitioner, a holistic healer, who listened to all his problems, looked at all these diagnostic reports, where everything was within the normal level, everything was fine. He took a detailed case history of this gentleman and he knew what the problem was. The medical healer, the holistic healer, he said, "Gentlemen, I know the answer for your problem." This was a long time, he hadn't heard an affirmative reply from anybody. People would say that, "We really don't know what to do. Everything seems so normal, but I still don't know why you're not well." So here, after a long time, he heard a positive reply. The doctor said, "I have an answer. What is it that you need to do is a very, very simple thing. It is just that you need to drink every day for the next 21 days half a cup." He just took a small little cup kind, small sized cup. He said, "You just have to drink half a cup of dewdrops every day in the morning." Dewdrops, you know what dewdrops are and where it is available, how it is procured. So he said, 21 days you have to drink dewdrops, and this is going to be the magical healer for all your ills and pains. But there is a condition here. These dewdrops have to be collected by you. Living in a city which is basically these days a concrete jungle, it's very hard to find parks and gardens. Our friend FRSM had this task for the next 21 days, that he had to collect the dewdrops himself and then drink it, which is going to give an answer to all his problems. So he was very happy because there was something for him to look forward. There was an affirmative reply. There was hope. So he went home that day, purchased a pair of walking shoes for himself, set the alarm for the next day. He woke up a little before sunrise. Here was a person who had never seen sunrise because he would always toss in the bed, unable to sleep throughout the night, and then sleep through the morning time, and always late to his office. And that's how he would get stressed and all these things. It was a vicious cycle. So today he got up because he had hope, he had a task to achieve. So he put on his jogging shoes, went walking with a small little cup in his hand, collecting dewdrops. And as you know, dewdrops are available only early in the morning, and we need to collect drop by drop from the plants, the leaves, early morning when the dewdrops settle on the leaves. So he had to literally go walk around and then collect it. By the time his small little cup was full, he had already spent about hour and a plus time, and he had already walked about 3 to 4 kilometers. It was around 7:30 in the morning, sat down, relaxed on a stone bench in a garden, and he just drank that elixir of life, the dewdrops. He felt so energized already, the very first sip. He felt so nice. He was very happy. He went back home that day. And he had this aspiration, the hope that the next 21 days it's going to be brilliant in his life. So he was looking forward for the next day. He was at the dining table with that little walking, probably he was hungry, asked for his breakfast for the first time. Otherwise, he would always had a constipated tummy and was never happy with the food. So today he ate well, he went to his office, he was longing to come back home, have an early dinner and sleep so that he could get up the next day. So the ritual continued. Within a week, our FRSM had made some good friends in his walking hours. He was enjoying the cool breeze, the chirping of the birds, talking to his friends, new friends, and every day sitting and enjoying his morning magical elixir, the dewdrops. By now, his irritability had come down. He was more appealing and then pleasant mannered. He was able to eat well. He was able to sleep well. His morning evaluations had there was a schedule and it was all happening well. And overall, he was feeling good about himself. By the end of 21 days, our friend FRSM transformed into FRHM. So in the chat box, my question to you is, what is FRHM? What was the transformation? Quickly, please. FRHM.
Sad to happy.
Okay. Ma'am says sad to happy. Fat, rich, happy man, is it? Okay, let me invite more answers. FRHM, from fat, rich, sick man to he had become FRHM.
Healthy man.
So is F remained F, is it? Fat remained as fat only? He became fit, rich, happy man. From fat, he became fit. His richness wasn't lost. In fact, he added more value to himself, so he didn't lose his wealth. From health, he became sick to happy. So fit, rich, happy man. So he goes back to the healer and he's extremely happy. He's feeling bountiful of energy. People around him are happy. He is happy and energized, able to stay up, do all his work. So he goes back to the healer. He says, I am amazed. I never knew dewdrops could do wonders. And he being a businessman, he sees business in every opportunity. He said, can I patent this, sir? Can I patent dewdrops? And then the healer said, my dear gentleman, the magic was not in this dewdrops. He said, whatever it is, sir, can I continue for the next 3 months? Will there be any side effects? The healer said, trust me, listen to me first. The magic was not in dewdrops. The magic was in the lifestyle. It's not just for about 3 months. You continue for the remaining part of your life. There isn't going to be any side effects. In fact, it's going to benefit you because the change didn't come from the dewdrops, but the change came in the context of the change in your lifestyle, your habits. You started eating right. You started exercising right. You had a better connect with your family, with your friends, with your colleagues around, with everybody around. You had a better connect with your own self, internal and external. The way you ingested food, the way you slept, your sleeping habits, your everyday habits, the entire connect. That is what made the difference, my dear gentlemen. It is not just it was just a bahana. The dewdrops was just a namesake. It's about you and the connect. So what is it I'm trying to tell you all is, there is a deeper connect between the food, the family, our own health, and the community's health. So it's very, very important that we understand this connect. The way we eat, the way we communicate with our family, and it's not just about our family or external, it's also about the internal communication, the kind of communication that happens, the connect that happens with your own self, the kind of talks you have with your own self, how happy you are with your physical body, your mental self, your energy levels, with everything of yourself. There is a subtle link to all these things. It ultimately decides how you feel and what you do. In fact, if a person is having chronic problems, whether it is issue with his leg, or it is his constipation or migraine or obesity, whatever. The chronic pain or the chronic discomfort can affect or influence a person's self-esteem, can affect a person's emotional or well-being, at the end of it, the quality of life. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to tell that there is a connect between all these things, and we need to understand the deep connect between the food, family, our lifestyle, and your own personal health. In that context, we need to look at the whole thing in a holistic perspective. That is what we are going to explore more. So as you rightly said or pointed out, importance of food, you all agree, 10 on 10, no dispute about that. But when it comes to how much we know, we need to understand more. We are somewhere around 6 or 7. So from here, we are to understand why we need to understand this connect and what is it that we need to do so that we enjoy a better family life, personal health, and everything good about us. So just a little comparison between the past and the present. Few decades back, say your grandparents or your parents' time. In the past, when the medical fraternity or the scientific explorations were not so wide, people lived a longer time. Dying was short. Either they died of infectious diseases like pneumonia, tuberculosis, diphtheria, influenza. The entire villages used to be wiped out. Those were the days when antibiotics were not so much heard of. Those were the days of infections. And the people died short. But look at the present now. Look at the present. What we're talking about now. People living too short. In the sense, no doubt we are living longer, but diabetes, it says at 40, arthritis starts at 50, kidney problems, hypertension, very early. So, but our life is prolonged. We are at the mercy of an insulin prick. We are at the mercy of various tablets, injections, life supporting devices. So the death is prolonged, but we are already sick, ailing, maintaining our life with a lot of support. Thanks to doctors, thanks to medical fraternity. But what I'm trying to say is the quality of life is reduced. Lifestyle disorders are hitting us quite early, but death is prolonged. Dying is long. They are not allowed to have a peaceful death because life supportive devices are available. But how happy are we with the chronic degenerative diseases popping more quantity or number of pills than the amount of food we eat? So many times the tablets that's taken is more than the amount of food that's eaten. The kind of non-communicable disorders, cardiovascular disorders, diabetes, hypertension, all these, we are living with it. We have good kind of, we have good doctors around, we have everything with us, and it's just that the death is being postponed. But our intention should be to have a good quality of life. In that context, again, the connect between food, family, and health is very, very, very important. When you see a doctor, what is it that the physician picks up? It's just the symptomatic disease. Here I've used the iceberg metaphor. What your physician, what the doctors see is just the symptoms. I am running temperature. I have migraine. I have a headache. I have sleep disturbance. I have knee pain. I have digestive issues. I'm feeling low. These are just the symptomatic issues. And we get treated for these symptoms only. But what the physician does not see is the latent, undiagnosed problems. And the latent, undiagnosed problems are all those chronic issues, the family stress, the personal stress, the dilemmas we are carrying, the various psychosomatic issues we have. There is a very strong connection between how we feel, our stress, our positive mental attitude, and our health. In fact, this is deciding most of our physical health. So these go unnoticed, just like in an iceberg. So this is something what we need to understand. Positive health, better health, freedom from sickness, if that is one end of the spectrum, we have unrecognized sickness, mild sickness, severe sickness, and death on the other hand. So this is the health and sickness spectrum. We are always oscillating between these. As I told you, the reasons for all this, top reason in the urban, modern, cosmopolitan or metropolitan cities are stress and tension, the deadlines, the biometrics, the project submissions, now the online sessions, the COVID, so many of these challenges, financial issues. So stress and tension, smoking and alcohol, pollution, of course, fast and processed foods are very, very important aspect we need to remember and do something about the foods, the processed food, the sedentary life. This is one of the biggest culprit. The sedentary lifestyle, which most of us are leading, high level of pesticides in food, low quality or imbalanced diet. There are, if you count there are 8 aspects. Could you tell me how many of this or which of this can be controlled? Certain things may not be in our hands, but which are those aspects that are well within our control? You could either unmute and tell me, or you could text me. You could tell me in the chat window. Okay, balanced, unbalanced diet is in our hands. Okay, what else is in our hands? Pollution. We may, because why I'm asking you this question is many a times we are complaining about the system. Ma'am, it's because of the pollution. Ma'am, it's because of the different types of demands we have. Nothing can be done about it. But I'm talking to you about what can be done. Let's not be complaining about a system, about things around us. Let's talk about what can be done. Okay, active lifestyle is in my hands, Pragya says. Priya says, yes, active lifestyle is a choice. It's what I opt for. Whether I decide to use my morning 20 minutes or half an hour to hit out on the gym or the treadmill or go for a walk, or I want to spend it reading my messages or answering all those, pressing the like button on my FB page. The choice is yours. Yes, eating healthy is in my control. Taking healthy food is in my control. Very true. Yes. So there are many things in our control. Once we understand that there is a connect between all these things, we need to take action. There is no use blaming the system, blaming the timings, blaming the modern lifestyle. There's no use doing that. Instead, we need to, yes, take our life into control. That is something very important. So while we are talking about this, yes, WHO says poor diets and lack of exercise are the leading causes of communicable diseases such as cardiovascular, type 2, certain cancers, which account for nearly 60% of 565 million deaths a year. And the last 2 words are very, very important there. Deemed preventable. These are in our hands. These are totally preventable, unlike those deaths that used to happen in the 19th century, where people used to die because medicine was not available. There were no antibiotics. The infection could not be controlled. But now we have suppressed all that. We have controlled infections. Forget about the COVID that's happening now, which is a newer enemy for us. But talking about the pre-COVID times, we had an answer for all these things. Cholera was in control. Polio, yes, we have tackled it. Tuberculosis, yes, we have a vaccine. We have answers for all these things, but still, due to preventable causes, deaths are happening. That is something very, very sad, which means to say that the connect we are having with our own body, mind, and soul, the external and internal connect we have with ourselves, with our family, is not okay. The warning bells are coming from there with the poor connect. Otherwise, cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancers, which are basically due to the 4 things The 4 pillars I was talking to you in the last session: the diet, the sleep and rest, exercise, and positive mental attitude. These 4 pillars are the ones which decide whether we have a healthy heart, a good pancreas, or whether we are away from certain types of cancers. For that, it's very important that we have a good connect. So, in that context, what are those determinants which decide our health or disease? So, I put it in the form of a chart here. At one glance, you understand whether it is health or disease. There are basically 2 important aspects: what we eat, that is our diet, and the very vast area that is the environment. In the environment, we have the internal and the external environment. And again, while talking about the internal environment, we have our own genetic makeup, the genes you have carried from your parents, and they in turn from their parents. Though it could be good, healthy genes, it could be some anomalies, it could be some kind of issues. But yes, we carry these genes. So the genetic makeup, and other than that, the biological set points in the context of the life events, the crisis each one of us have undergone, the sleep function, the organ functioning, and at the external level, the ecological, technological, psychological, and economical aspects. All these affect our health or disease. Now, talking about the COVID times, now look at that. The internal, apart from the internal genetic and biological, the external aspects, ecological aspects, is something which is really bothering us. COVID has affected our ecological, the psychological, and the economical factors too. So these are the determinants of health. And of course, there are individual differences. This is something which we need to very much understand. Although we have the negative genes with us, although my father might be a diabetic or a hypertensive person and I've carried those genes, and the genes can express themselves, and I may become hypertensive in the coming few years. I'm prone to it, but still, the way my genes express, although I'm vulnerable, although I'm a carrier, with the right kind of diet, with the right kind of activity and lifestyle, I can either postpone the expressions of these genes, I can delay the onset of this disorder, or I can manage it, or I can control that. That is in our hands. These are the individual differences. If you get to know that these are the negatives, these are the issues that are running in our family, rather than blaming the parents or the heredity or the genes, what is it that you can do about it? Can you get yourself or take control or take charge of your health? That is the proactiveness each of us have to follow. We need to understand that by gender, some of us are certain aspects. We are, as a woman, you're much prone to something. As a man, you're much prone to probably something else. So we need to understand the effect of gender, age, and activity. So this is something we need to respect and understand. And talking about the extreme left, the diet part, yes, I mean, this is the whole purpose of this entire series. Although I'm connecting to the environment and internal, we are giving so much of importance to the diet aspect. The kind of food you eat, the food pattern in the sense, the duration, the spacing between your meals, the type of meals, the quality of meals, the balanced diet, the food groups, the colors that you have added. I'm just picking up from the last 2 sessions what I've already spoken. So talking about that diet, how rich or how right is. And apart from that diet and food pattern, it is also about how you spend your food habits or time with your family, the area, the culture around food. All this is very, very important. And these are the strong determinants of your good health. And if you look at this, how is that what you eat becomes you? When you were born, you were hardly about 2.5 to 3 kgs. Even before in the prenatal environment, we all started our life as just a speck of dust or a pinpoint. By the end of the 280 days or the pregnancy period, each of us weighed about 2.5 kgs. We started as a single cell and then, of course, a zygote. And then the birth happened. And from there on, We are here in our 40s or 50s or weighing different kilos and then body proportion. Whatever we are today, irrespective of your height, weight, and body proportion, we are what we are because of the food that we have eaten. So, how did that food become you? How did that point of a pin or that 2.5-year-old child grew up, developed these muscles and flesh and blood, and is a full grown adult? It is through the ingestion and digestion and what the food you have absorbed, transported, and has become a part of you. Whatever you have eaten is in every cell and tissue of your body, which means to say that the food you eat, you consume from your thali is not just a thali, it's going to enter every nook and corner of yourself. It's a part of your every cell. So the food becomes you. So we need to respect that. Ultimately, whatever the habits that we cultivate, how we look at food is ultimately going to decide how we are going to be. And when it comes to all this, we are so careful about our environment, our homes, our office spaces, our own cars. We want to keep it clean and neat. You want your tables to be tidy. You want your rooms to be tidy. The kitchen should be neat. Your different spaces to be neat. Yes, it's very, very important, extremely important. But what about our body? We invest so much of time, energy, money, resources to keep our home, to keep our automobiles, to keep our gadgets clean. We service our car, you charge your phones, repair it, service it, everything. But how about our body? Our body is the only place where we live 24 bar 7 and we have only one body in this life. We don't have an alternate space. Today I'm fed up or I want to step out of this and get into it a little later. Is it possible? No, it's not possible. How much money, time, effort are we investing in keeping this body fit and healthy is a question. Every car comes with a guideline. It has to be serviced within the first 1 month or this many number of kilometers. And we promptly take it for the free servicing and thereafter the regular servicing. Our phones don't work if it is not rightly charged and we have to service it, we have to charge it. But how often do we service our body before it tells you its sickness? We rarely go to a physician or we rarely do a preventive action unless our body gives us those signals, those aches and pains and illnesses only when it is there. How often do we give rest to it? How often do we give how often are we thankful to our beautiful system, this body, for this precision, for this beautiful working mechanism? We all need to take a break. We all need to service it regularly. How do we service it? Service through the right kind of food, the right kind of activities, the right kind of rest again. This is something very important. And at times, maybe there are times where you require a small little massage for your own self, a total body massage, a spa probably, an oil massage, or a little break in your daily schedule. These are required. A little break from your worries and aches and tensions. This is a service you're going to do for your body. But we don't regard this or respect it. Only when we end up with a headache or a toothache, we remember about the beautiful set of teeth and the other mechanisms. Let's not wait for that. Let's revere, respect, do the best for it. We know that the aching knees or the cracking bones are an indication of poor calcium. It could be an indication of overweight on your knees. Your body, your knees and your lower limbs are unable to carry that excess weight. That's a sign. That's a story that your body is trying to communicate. Should we wait for that? Instead of suppressing with a painkiller, that's the communication we are receiving. You should be reducing, knocking off a couple of kgs or kilos and walking and then reducing that so that is the kind of respect we need to give our bodies. That's the smallest reward for this beautiful machine or a beautiful design, what we call as a human body. The amount of work and service it's doing for us is phenomenal, it's tremendous. So I have been talking about the four pillars. I once again reiterate, so hence these four pillars are extremely very important for yourself, your entire family. Very important that we bring in healthy habits within the family so that the entire family enjoys good health, both physical and mental. So for those of you who are coming first, I didn't get any answers. I don't think there are people who are attending for the first time, but just to go through that fact, a quick recap, the food pyramid I've told you, the four food groups, the balanced diet, the whole foods, adding colors. So I will talk about that more. So in order to have your food a healthy way so that you have a good connect, healthy, the physical and the social and emotional thing, we need to, apart from taking balanced diet, add a lot of colors to your diet. It's very, very important. This is called as the color spectrum. Divide food into a color spectrum. The green color food coming from the vegetables and greens, the red color of the vegetables like tomatoes, beetroots, the blue and the purple, the orange and yellow, all the carotene rich foods, pumpkin, carrot, mango, pineapple, and the white color, the probiotics in the form of curds, the white radishes, etc. All these things. See to it that you get this spectrum in your diet. Why? Because each of these colors works on different organs and organ system and your mental self. So there's a connect between the, I think I mentioned in the last session also, the seven colors of the rainbow or the white light is made up of seven colors. And these colors in our own system through food is very, very important for the different organ system. And for the best nutrition, try to eat 1, 2, or even 3 servings of these. See to it that you eat different colors. And talking about the food, how it is used, our energy, the calories we consume, about 10% goes in digesting the food, about 25% is spent in physical activity, and for the basal metabolic rate, that is for all the involuntary activities, about 65% of the energy is lost. So we cannot change this percentage, but we can change the energy demand by actively exercising, etc. So this is a very important concept of body mass index. When we are talking about health, it is very important that we have a favorable or a positive body mass index. What is body mass index? It's a statistical measure of the weight of a person with respect to his height. So BMI or body mass index is calculated as the individual's body weight divided by the square of their height. So if you look at that, there is a classification 16.5 to less than 16 and 16.5 is severely underweight. 16.5 to 18.5 is underweight. We talk about the zero figures. So they come under less than 18.5 body mass index. 18.5 to 25 is a normal BMI. 25 to 30 is overweight, and 30 to 35 is obese. And this is a very, very important concept. Our weight is an important indicator of our future health, the possibility of lifestyle disorders, the management of already existing disorders, hypertension or cardiovascular disorders, etc. So therefore, it's very important that we keep our weight under check. So we'll do a little exercise now. Here you have the human height conversion chart from inches to centimeters. Take a look at that. I'm going to stop sharing screen. I'm going to come back with you all. So if you don't know your thing, inches, just refer to this table chart here. If you know it in the form of inches, I need your answers in centimeters. So if you are 5'2", Just correspondingly look at in centimeters what it is. And if you know your weight and your height in centimeters, now looking at the chart here, we are going to work a little on your BMI. I request all of you to make a quick note of your individual height in centimeters. Suppose you are 5'4", 5 feet 4 inches. You are 163 centimeters. So I want that answer in centimeters, and I want your weight. I'm going to stop sharing. I'll let the screen be for another 5 seconds so that you note it down. I presume you have done it. So I ask you. Okay, there's a question in the meantime. Let me quick take care of our knees and joints. Okay. Give me, yes, Indra has given 68 kilos and 150 centimeters. Madhura says 155 and 55. Okay. So what I have with me, this is called as a body mass index ready reckoner. Okay. There are formulae. You can go to the Google and you can check it out. Quick body mass index calculators are available. Soon after the session, you could do it. But here right now in the session, I can tell you using this ready reckoner, the body mass index calculator. So I'm going to pick up randomly one of your weight and height. And I'm going to tell Indra what her BMI is. So 68 kgs and then 150 centimeters, 68 kgs and 150 centimeters. Give me a minute's time. 150 and 68. Okay, ma'am, Indra ma'am, your BMI is it okay? Can I use your example? I need to get an
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
Only then I can
Yes,
proceed.
yes.
Is that okay? Without your
Yeah, yeah.
permission, you shouldn't be
Yeah,
using
yeah.
an
Definitely.
example. So your weight is 68 and your height is 150 and your BMI is 27, 26.5 to 27. Now I'll go back to the chart. Now tell me, and before that, let me work out one more. I'll take randomly Swapnali. Yes, your height is 145, 145, and your weight is 50. Okay, 145 and 50, and your BMI is 22. Now note down both Swapnali's BMI 22 and Indra ma'am's BMI 27. I'll go back to the chart. Now you tell me which is normal, who needs a little change. And yeah. Okay. So look at this. Give me your answers. Ma'am, Indra ma'am, you can unmute and tell me. Rupali, you can tell me. 22 BMI, 27 BMI. Right?
Right.
Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Indra ma'am, you may have to reduce. I'll tell you your ideal weight. Okay. So, for your
Yeah,
height,
please.
of 150 centimeters, 150 centimeters, if you have to be in the normal range of BMI, your weight should be somewhere between, yes, your weight should be somewhere between 55 kilos to 60 kgs. 55 to 58 will give you an ideal BMI of 22. Although 18.5 to 25 is a normal BMI, the ideal would be 22. In that context, Swapnali, let's hear it for you. You've maintained an ideal BMI of 22, which is really, really good. So maintain the same thing. Whatever you're doing, continue to do that. If you're exercising already, continue to exercise. If you're eating right, please continue. Don't stop that for whatever reason. You have maintained a good height for your weight. So those of you, I'm not able to, yeah, let me read your answers. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. At BMI 27, how much do I need to lose? Okay. As I told you, Indra ma'am, at BMI 27, you may have to knock
That
off about
was
8.
that was before you suggested what I should do. I had asked before. I got the answer, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Yes. And then what is it that we need to be doing? And I want to give this answer so that it could benefit people. So when I say about 8 kgs, this should be spread across weeks. Never going for any quick fixes. Average should be about 1 kilo loss per week, not more than 3 to 4 kgs in a month. If a particular diet promises you that you can knock off quick kgs within 15 days, you're going to burn those calories and then reduce half a dozen kilos, it's not good for your system, for anybody for that matter. Because in the long run, we will be running deficient on micronutrients, and in the long run, our health gets affected. So healthy way of reduction is cutting down on fatty foods and saturated foods, quantity of foods, and then increasing the exercise or activity level. This is the only time-tested method which is sustainable. No other quick fixes. So the extra 8 kgs, you can consider it knocking it off in a span of 2 to 3 months through exercise and diet. Not worrying about it, not becoming overly conscious about it, not into guilt eating or guilt trips, but in a healthy, acceptable manner. That is very, very important for each of us. At the end of it, for those of you who are on the slightly higher side, obese side, I would also like to talk to you all and share that first and foremost, you need to understand the reason for obesity. Everything may not boil down to overeating. It could be because of certain hormonal problems. It could be due to endocrine disorders. It could be your life situations. It could be post-pregnancy weight gain. It could be because of some kind of emotional issues where you're put on weight due to some kind of mental anxiety. So there are so many factors there. So we need to understand from where that extra weight is coming from. Is it due to PCOD? Is it due to something else? So find out the reason for that extra weight. Don't get overwhelmed or extremely anxious about your body type. Apart from that, there are also 3 types of body: the endomorph, the mesomorph, and the ectomorph. The people who are small framed, medium framed, and big framed. So you might be one of those also. So look at all these things and then work out a very, very customized individual way of addressing it. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Don't compare yourself with those celebrities or the figures, the models out there. Many of those pictures are all photoshopped. So you are a normal self. Very importantly, it is very important that each of us are happy, satisfied in our own skin, the way we look in our own body type. That is foremost, very, very important. Apart from that, from the health point of view, and also from the aesthetic point of view, if you have to reduce, definitely take a healthy way to reduce. Never feel guilty or low or ashamed about your own self, whether it is your height, weight, or complexion. Why? Because again, there is a connect between the way you think, the way you perceive yourself, and your health. The negative self-esteem may come back in the form of a migraine, it may come back in the form of a sleep disturbance, it may also come back in the form of a cancer. So please, this is what I would like to talk about: the food, body, mind, and health connect. There is a connect between all these. Let me take a little, I think I need to give you all a break too. Is that right? So before that, let me hear it from you. How is the class going, session going? I'll give a 5-minute break after this. So till now, how is the session going? Body, mind, and food connect. You could give me your answers in single word. It's 5:27. I will give you a break of 5 minutes. Before that, let me ask you this question. How is the session going? Okay, there are a couple of questions. I'm learning. Indra says perfect. Great, says Nidhi. More answers quickly. Yes, very informative. Great. Thank you all so much. You've been wonderful audience. Great. Excellent, Anu says. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, there are a couple of questions. I think I've noted it down. If I miss out anything also, you can alert me on these when we come back. So let's take a 3 to 5 minutes break. We will be back. Is that fine, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, as you wish.
Yeah, no, generally we give it, right? That's, yeah. And before we break for a small break, I would like to thank Indra ma'am for being so sportive. Nice of you that you allowed me to take your example and explain. Thank you so much. That was very nice of you.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you. So we resume. We come back in a couple of minutes. So I'm back. I hope the others are back too. So let me take this question from Deepak sir. It's difficult to lose weight in late 40s. Can you give some suggestion for late 40s people to lose weight? At the same time, to keep muscles and bones healthy? Good question. So 40 is the beginning of middle age, we say. In the human life, there are different phases, different the way we grow. There are the latent phase, the growth phase, and the phase of decline. 40 being the beginning of middle age, we say. Growth or more or less is complete. And here the bodily functions continue. Growing process is over. Metabolism, there is a dip in BMI, BMR with every passing decade. Therefore, our energy requirements are lesser because growth is completed. We need energy to carry on with our day-to-day life for the body, to keeping up with the body processes. We are no longer acquiring height in inches. There is not much change in the body proportions. The organs have already grown. We have reached our peak in height, etc. When you're talking about a woman, by now she has gone through a couple of pregnancies, which could have added weight to her. She's in the perimenopause or the premenopause state. There are hormonal changes. The BMR has come down. So all these things are happening in our mid 40s or early 40s, which means to say that the energy requirements are lesser. When we continue to consume the same kind of food or amount of food or more than that, and we are not exercising enough, till now the amount of food we consume probably was being used for the process of growth, but now we don't need that much. So we need to be mindful of these aspects. So we need to consume that much that is required for or to maintain the body, to keep ourselves going. So here we need to look at the amount, the food consumption, consume more of whole foods. If possible, cut down a little on the quantity of food. Be aware of the spacing between the meals. And also, very importantly, if you have not started exercising yet, this is the right time. Very importantly. So at 40, why it is difficult? Difficult because the energy requirement is less, but we have not changed our eating habits. So we need to change that. Plus, here is a time when there is a slight decline in the health. This is the time when we catch up with different types of disorders if we are not in control of our health. So being mindful of these things, exercising is the right thing. Please exercise regularly. See to it or consult a trainer or a nutritionist. See what exercise suits your body type, the duration and the type of exercise, the type of food, that's very important. This is also the time, the middle age is also the time when we carry a whole lot of worries about our children, settling them, about retirement, about the investments, various other things. The responsibilities are also higher at this time. So therefore, we are indirectly taking those stresses also. This is also the time a woman is undergoing menopause. This is also the time the middle-aged parent the adult who is in her 40s also may be treating or taking care of his or her aged parents. So we call this as a sandwiched age. You are between your teenage children, you are in your own middle age, and probably also looking at the demands of senior citizens at home. So with all these things, the age of 40 to 50 becomes a little challenging. But still, we need to be mindful of these things and take those extra steps. So what is it that we need to do? Take time off your busy schedule and exercise. It's very important. Yes, you are climbing the ladder of your profession in your career. But at the same time, we also need to be mindful that 50, 60, we need to be extremely cautious about our declining health. So I need to take my time out of my busy schedule to exercise. And it's also a time to celebrate life. I'm taking a little time talking and answering this question because it's very, very important. When you're in your 40s or middle years, gone are those 3-4 decades of your life where you have earned for your family, lived the life for your children and family. And it is a time to live the life of your own. Many a times we keep doing things for everybody. Please take time for your own self. Set aside that half an hour for some meditation, for yoga, for exercise, pranayama, or doing something that makes you feel happy. Take that me time. This is called as me time. At least 20 minutes of me time every day is very, very, very important. So sustained exercise, looking back to your own self, bringing yourself back into focus, apart from looking at the family, and mindful eating. These are the things for good health to knock out those extra kilos. And the second question is how to keep muscles and bones healthy. Again, good question. Up to 30 years, the calcium deposition takes place in the bones. 30 to 40, maintenance takes place. 40 and above, the leaching of calcium from the bones takes place. We are not adding more minerals into bones. In fact, the bones are losing the minerals. So therefore, we need to maintain that, put back those minerals or retain whatever that is there. For that reason, eating calcium-rich foods is very important. Calcium comes from milk and milk products or the dairy. Calcium also comes from sesame seeds, as I was telling you last class. The till, black till, soak about a teaspoon of black till previous night in a small glass of water. The next day morning, eat the till, black sesame seeds and drink that water. Extremely good source of calcium. Only if the person is obese or overweight, then you can skip eating the till, but you can just drink that water. Good source of calcium. Ragi, finger millet, is very good source of calcium. Add sesame seeds to your paratas and naans, or make a roast it and powder it and keep it and add it to all your sabjis. You get your quota of sesame or the calcium. Expose yourself to the sun, very important. Vitamin D absorption. Vitamin D is very important for your bone health. Junk foods, alcohol, aerated drinks work negatively for the bone health. So cut down on these things. Extra consumption of caffeine, tea, coffee, again adversely affects the bone health. So take care of these things. And for good muscles, to build up good muscles, good quality of proteins with high biological value, coming from animal protein. If you are a vegetarian, then combine different types of legumes, nuts, dals, so that we get complete proteins. So this is about that question. And very importantly, for good bone health, not just the diet, exercise is very, very important. Exercising is not to reduce your weight. Exercise is for endurance. Exercise is for flexibility and agility, and exercise is for strength in the bones. When we exercise, we are also building strength in the bones. It is not just to knock off the calories or kilos. So for all this, for the bone health, exercise well, eat well moderately, and take care of all these aspects I was talking to. Yes. Okay, there's a question here. I have noticed focusing only on yoga for 3 to 4 months led me into gaining a little weight. In this regard, I would want to understand what should be the correct thing. Yes. Hatha yoga. Okay, then the quiz. Okay, this time I don't remember. Okay, okay, you want me to speak on those? We'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah, then just to share. Okay, good, good. So I'm a little resistant to dals, but now you're eating it, Jana. So those of you who are resistant to dals, if it is causing flatulence or bloating in your stomach, you can add hing asafoetida or jeera powder or jeera tadka to it, and ginger. So these are the other factors which inhibit or which help you if you have this bloating sensation or these negative effects of dal. So these counter the negatives of these legumes, etc. So try giving a tadka of hing, use jeera, use lemon juice, use ginger. So it helps you. It becomes more acceptable. And talking about yoga, focusing only on yoga, hatha yoga, vinyasa, and hatha yoga. So as I told you, each one's body type is different. Each one of us are made in different ways. Our resistance levels are different. So if Hatha Yoga and Vinyasa or the yoga actually didn't help you much, and you seem to have gained weight through that, then again you need to look at what is it that suits you. In other ways, yoga is a wonderful way of aligning body, mind, and soul. It's a time tested, ancient wisdom, and it's very good for not just the flexibility and agility, but for aligning body, mind, and soul. And Hatha Yoga and Vinyasa Yoga are very, very specialized aspects of yoga. If you feel that any of this didn't suit you, it could be because maybe you have not tried it for too long, or there could be other factors which could have added to the weight gain, may not be due to yoga, or probably you need to add some other form of exercise along with it. So talk to your trainer, listen to yourself, see if you at the same time you went through any other difficult phase in life, or was your diet not okay, or was something else not okay at that time. Look at all those things and then arrive at that method which suits us. As I told you, each one's body type is different. So find out what is it that suits you. There are people who can just go on gorging food, they don't add weight at all. There are others who just breathe air and they put on weight. So in that context, find out what suits you and let's have an individualized probably assessment. Okay. Overweight resulting in severe leg pain. Any tips along with BP and migraine? Headache, no hard reason, but every day. Okay. Overweight resulting in severe leg pain, says Anu. Yes, madam. Overweight because our body is designed in such a way that it can work at an optimal level with an ideal body weight. But when we add those weight or those extra kgs, we are overburdening our lower part of the body. And who is bearing the brunt of all that? Our knees and the leg muscles and the lower part of your body. Therefore, it results in aching knee joints, leg pain, etc. So number one is we have to take away those extra kilos so that we become a little more agile. Secondly, what is it? The leg pain, severe leg pain, if it is in the form of a cramp, I think I was telling you last class, deficiency of calcium, deficiency or lack of electrolytes in your body, insufficient intake of water can also result in cramps. So leg pain could be due to that also. You need to identify from where this is coming. Is it because of weight, the knee pain? Then look at handling that issue. If it is in the form of a cramp, it could be these deficiencies, what I was telling you. Even anemia, if you are severely anemic, anemia also can result in cramps and aches and pains. And lack of water. So look at all these things, that's important. And the next very, very important aspect is your posture, the kind of footwear you use. So the leg pain could be because of that also. Having a wrong posture, wrong gait, the walking stance, the way you stand, the way you walk, your gait. So that could also be a factor or a cause for your leg pain or the footwear. So look at all these things and identify what is the cause of your leg pain. That is very, very important. In the case of any of these problems, we need to do why analysis. Why analysis means what is causing this? Why is this happening? There is no one size fits all. Do a why analysis. Where is this leg pain coming from? Is it because of varicose veins? Is it because of overweight? Is it because that I'm a professor in a college, I stand for long hours? Is it because of that? Is my lifestyle? So it could be any of these. So do a why analysis, find out where the problem is arising from and hit it on that. You have to hit the nail on its head. So that is very, very important. So can we move on? I think that was a very good interaction. Thank you. Yes, Deepak sir, last time you asked us to remind you to speak on dose in detail. Yes, yeah, I shall do that. I hope we can move on. Okay. I'm not able to share it. Yeah, sorry, taking a little time there. So we were at this. So we have analyzed who is underweight, what is a normal BMI, what we need to do if you are a little overweight or obese. It's a very, very important indicator. So please take care of this. So moving ahead, these are some of the grave health concerns in India. 73% of deaths due to cardiovascular disorders, cancer and respiratory disease. By 2020, three-fourths of the deaths will be happening by non-communicable diseases is what WHO had predicted, and that's what is happening. And 2020, 40 million people with osteoarthritis. By 2030, 190 million diabetes and 50% in India. About 5 lakh premature death due to atmosphere pollution. Iron deficiency, it's a very, very important aspect. Iron deficiency, anemia. That is, at this juncture, I would like to say something. Iron deficiency anemia is so rampant, so much, and about, am I with you? Have I lost the connection?
Ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. Iron deficiency anemia, about 65 to 70% of women and children, young girls are anemic in India, urban India and rural India. So anemia by itself makes an individual perform at a less or a suboptimal potential. Lethargy, fatigue, restlessness, breathless,
Ma'am,
I believe Dr. Shobha might have got disconnected. Thank you for your patience. We'll just wait for her to reconnect.
fine, ma'am.
Yes, there is some technical issue at her end. I've just spoken to her. She is getting back within a minute. Please bear with us.
In the meanwhile, I would request all of you to just fill out the quiz we have shared in the chat box. It's the same one we shared at the beginning of the session. So those of you who still haven't, please do it. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Nidhi, you can also take suggestions for the fifth session, though some suggestions have come in the feedback form. But still, if some of the participants want to give an option, you can just take it and pass on to Shobha ma'am.
Okay, fine, sir.
Ma'am has joined. Ma'am, I think you're on mute. We are able to see that you're here, but can't hear you.
Okay. Now it's fine. You can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. But my screen is not visible, I think.
Ma'am, it's visible. No,
My-
it's not now. It was, but it's gone again.
Okay. Yeah, we were at this. Correct. Yeah. So I was talking to you about iron deficiency anemia and this particular chocolate which I came across. So I was quite happy learning about that because it was all made out of dietary foods high in rich component. So it is very important that we look at those things which are modifiable, those things that can be controlled, which is in our hands, rather than complaining about the pollution. Here there is a slide which talks about atmospheric pollution, premature deaths happening due to atmospheric pollution. Yes, can something be done about it? If something can be done at your own level, let's do it. Let's raise a hue and cry. Bring it to the attention of the civic authorities. Make a noise in the right context. If things are beyond your reach, at least in your own individual context, what is it that can be done for a pollution less life or for your own good health? So these are the things which we need to look at. So in this context, I would like to say that in all these aspects, when we are talking about it, there is what is called as an area of concern. Each of us have an area of concern. The area of concern or the circle of concern could be our health. Circle of concern could be the health of our family. Circle of my concern could be my business. Right now, the circle of concern is we are all living with the fear of COVID. So, in your mind, I ask you to do a little exercise now. In your mind, get these two concentric circles, an inner circle and an outer circle. In the inner circle, that is a small circle, write down all the concerns what you have. The concern may be about your health, about your weight, about the financial issues you have, about the family issues you have, about a troublesome teenager, about a ailing parent at home, or it could be a falling business, whatever it could be. Write down mentally, or if you have a notebook with you, write down the area or the circle of concern. 1, 2, 3, whatever you have. If you are a diabetic, write that I am a diabetic, this is my concern. I hope you have done it. If you have done it, can one of you share it with me? Or some of you text me what are the concerns that you have mentioned in the circle of concern, the inner circle. Anybody? I would like to see what your concerns are. Yet to get answers from your end. Health headache issue. Okay. There's no name, so I can't address with a name. Only the phone number, that detail is there. Headache issue and eye power issue is a circle of concern. Okay. Family, Swapnali says, family is my concern. Okay. More answers, please, before I move on. Okay. So, talking about the first one, I just pick up this particular concern, headache and eye power issue. This is my circle of concern. Whoever it is, I'm just elaborating on this particular example. Headache and BP issue, says another one. Teeth, especially teeth enamel, that's an issue, says Indra madam. So headache and eye power is my circle of concern. So because I'm just elaborating on this. So this is my problem today, and I keep worrying about my headache, and I keep worrying about the thick glasses I need to wear. I'm very concerned about my appearance. I'm not very happy with the way I look, and then the headache bothers me. I can't enjoy the activities, day-to-day activities. If these are your concerns, I'm just hypothetically elaborating on this eye power issue and headache issue. If this is my concern, the more and more I worry about my concern, which is in that inner circle, what is it that I am doing? By worrying or focusing all my attention, my energy to my concern, I am making, or I'll ask you this question, are you making your circle of concern bigger or smaller by worrying more about that? I repeat my question. By focusing, by repeatedly thinking, worrying, and less of action about your circle of concern, is your circle of concern growing bigger or is it getting smaller? Quick answers, please. Bigger. Yes, absolutely. It is growing bigger. Yes. So by focusing on the problem, this is called as a problem-centric outlook. So as long as we concentrate, we look at the problems. We keep talking about, you know what, my son isn't studying well. You know what, all my neighbors' children, they passed in NEET and they're getting into medical college. Look at my child, he's always time waster. I did so much for him, but nothing in return. Look at mine, I really wanted to travel and enjoy my life, but now I've become diabetic. I always want to wear my sunglasses and look smart, but look at this, my high power doesn't allow me to wear my ribbon. We are only focusing on the negatives. No, it's not wrong talking about it, but mere focusing on the circle of concern without taking action about it is only making a circle of concern bigger and bigger. But outside the circle of concern, there is space, there is another bigger circle, and this is called as a circle of control. So I told you to imagine two circles. One was circle of concern and the circle of control. The more you focus on the circle of concern, that problem becomes bigger and bigger. Whereas your circle of control is shrinking. Now shift the focus. Let there be a paradigm shift. Now instead of concentrating on the problems, let us focus on what is in my control. So I'm going to take up the same example of eye power and headache. Yes, this is my concern. But out of my concern, there is a bigger circle of control. So what is it that I can do for my headache and my eye power? I'm just presuming the problem because you've just narrated in 2 words. So I'm just elaborating on that. There is a bigger circle of control. What is that circle of control? Find out the source of headache. Is it migraine? Is it coming due to your vision problem? Is the headache coming because of sleep deprivation? Is the problem coming, the headache is coming from lack of sleep? Is it because you have acidity, you don't digest your food well, you don't sleep well, and therefore the headache? Or are you having a lot of hurries and worries and tensions? Is that the source of your headache? So look at the things that is causing and what can I do about it? What is it that in your control? You can choose to worry less about your existing problems and be more proactive about it. You can consult an ophthalmologist or a sleep specialist and look at your headache problem in a different way. So this is your circle of control. If you're worried about your vision, if you're not happy wearing those thick glasses, consider take an opinion about contact lenses or on getting a LASIK surgery done. I'm just giving you the options available. The more and more we focus on the concern, the circle of concern is going to grow bigger. We are going to be blind about the circle of control. Instead, if you look at the control, what we have become diabetic, instead of worrying about it, instead of telling 10 people, you know what, I'm fond of sweets, but God, has taken away even that from me. I can't even enjoy a badam barfi. Instead of that, I have become diabetic. So what is it that is in my control? Take another second opinion, consult a nutritionist, find out the diet modification that has to be done, weight management, exercising, so that when you control your blood sugar, when it is under good manageable levels, you can still enjoy that sweet. There are many things in your control. So we generally forget what is in your control, but we start micromanaging your concerns. It's only going to become bigger and bigger. So from today, if you can change your perspective and look at the circle of control, your concern becomes smaller and smaller and control becomes bigger and bigger. So this is something very, very important. Does amla in any way damage your teeth? Okay. Amla or lemon juice, these are rich in vitamin C, citric acid. Vitamin C, very, very good for your immunity. It is very good for vitamin C, for collagen development, gum health, etc. Is it bad for your teeth, if that is a question? Vitamin C or acidic food can corrode your teeth enamel if you take it regularly and allow it to remain on your teeth for a long time. So those of you who drink lemon juice with honey early in the morning, and for a long time if you have been drinking this and if you have experienced this change in enamel, etc., you can shift from or you can change the way you drink it. Lemon and honey, warm water, lemon and honey on an empty stomach is a very good way to start your body to cleanse your system. So in order to protect your teeth, nothing happens in a day or 2 or weeks, but in the long run, it can corrode your teeth enamel. So drinking it through a straw is a better option. And after eating amla or citric foods, citrus or sour foods, rinsing your mouth, gargling your mouth, or drinking water immediately, and not allowing that acidic component remain on your teeth is a good habit. So if you can do that, amla by itself is not bad to your teeth, but keeping it for a long time can damage. In that context, you drink water, or if you're drinking lemon and honey, drink it through a straw. I've been having amla in chutney form quite some time, hence the trouble. No, amla by itself is very good, ma'am. Don't have that fear about amla. It is just that drink water. If you require, brush it. But otherwise, amla by itself is an excellent source of vitamin C. You can use it in the murabba form, chutney form, the various juices, amla juice, etc. Yes. What else? How much time do I have? Okay, I think I'll move on. There are questions. I would like to come back to that too. Maybe another few minutes we will go to the questions back again. So this is something what I have been talking about. I have always told you about the carbohydrate spike. So very importantly, it is good if you can have or avoid these carbohydrate spikes which come from empty calories, quick drinks, aerated or carbonated beverages, etc., results in carbohydrate spikes. This results in a elevated mood, sudden feeling of high and then low feeling. So try and avoid these. It's better if you can have, it's advisable to have a normal blood sugar level without high peaks and dips, which can be acquired through a good protein, cereal, fruits and vegetable diet. So that is something which we can follow. So some of the quick dietary guidelines for a good body, mind and health connect is nutritionally adequate diet. I've been speaking about it in all my 3 sessions. Bring in variety. I also gave you a task to increase the consumption of legumes, add it, improve it by a couple of numbers. Additional food if you are pregnant and lactating. Breastfeeding the baby is very, very, very important. If you are a young mother, the first 6 months exclusive breastfeeding is very important. In fact, if there are young mothers at home in the audience, I would like to say that the first 1,000 days of a child's life is crucial. When I say 1,000 days, it is from the day of conception, that is the 280 days or 9 months of pregnancy. And then when you calculate, it comes up to 2 years, which means to say from the time of conception, the first 2 years of the life of a child is very important. So during those days, the mother's health, the child's health, breastfeeding, and exposing the child to good quality and quantity of food, very important. The first 1,000 days, in the long run, the child's adult health, life, lot of it is decided in these 1,000 days. So please take care of that. Cooking oils in moderation, limit the use of salt and sugar is very important. And talking about the body, mind, and health connect, it is not just about the external appearance or the looks. It is not just about how much you weigh, what is your body type. You may be on the higher side, heavier side, but you still may be very agile and free and happy-go-lucky person. Health is about both external and internal. It's very, very important. How you feel, how you look, both are very important. And talking about your family's health, children are always good observers. They are bad listeners, but they are excellent imitators. So if you want your children to learn good things, eat right, do things right, rather than preaching, let us set a good example, be good role models so that children learn by imitating us. And children are particularly vulnerable to inadequate nutrition and infectious diseases, many of which can be effectively prevented or treated. Forget not talking about the corona times, but in general, many of these things can be effectively treated and prevented. But right now we are amidst pandemic, so children, as given by WHO, are particularly vulnerable to infectious diseases. That's exactly the reason why the schools are closed, why we are so protective about children. So continue to do that. Take care of your children. Let them stay safe, especially these days. Scientific research has proven that specific nutrients are very, very important for the growth and development of your child. Proteins are very important. Certain minerals like calcium, iron, very important. Iodine is very important. So please take care of all that. And if you haven't got your health, what do you have? And how much is your health worth? I don't think we can put a figure or a value to that. And what best time than the COVID times? We are really looking around, hearing and seeing people, loss of life, then the positive cases and the hues and cry about that, all that is happening. Amidst all that, if 40, 50 of you have logged into the session, listening to me from the past 1.5 to 2 hours, it means that each of you are blessed with good health, if not the perfect health, adequately good health. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been with me in the last 2 sessions. That is, be thankful for that. Let's develop an attitude of gratitude, which is very, very important, because we can't fix a premium end of the day to our health. It's very important. I can just go on this way, but I shall stop here and we will go back to the questions. What I have, if the time permits, was, I know I would have spoken about the different diseases and what needs to be done in terms of dietary modification, etc. But then I rather feel I'll go back to the questions. In the meantime, Deepak sir had alerted me about talking about those, so I'll just quickly talk about that and come back. Yes, before, yes, I move on to your questions. So. Yes, this is what I was talking to you last session. Dose. I have explained very briefly D for dopamine, O for oxytocin, S for serotonin, and E for endorphin. And I was also telling you that it's important that you get a dose of these every day. How do we get this? And there is a strong body-mind connect when I'm talking about this. So going bottom to top, endorphin, these are neurotransmitters. All these four are neurotransmitters, chemicals produced in the brain, which are also known as happy hormones. How do we get them? How do we keep our mental health in a good way? How do we get this dose? So starting from endorphin. Endorphin is a neurotransmitter. It is a natural painkiller. Endorphin as a neurotransmitter is produced in your body when we exercise, and when we exercise, it could be any form of exercise, there is a normal wear and tear in the body. There is a little strain, there is a little muscle wear and tear. So to ease us from all these pains, body produces natural painkiller in the form of endorphin. So what does endorphin do? It acts as a natural painkiller, and it fixes the wear and tear, and we are back to ourselves. You start feeling good about it. So that is natural painkiller endorphin. Over the days, what happens? You exercise, there's a little wear and tear, there is this natural painkiller endorphin. So this endorphin is not just repairing the wear and tear, but it's also healing your own entire body. So therefore, those of us who are used to exercises, the day you don't go to your gym or the day you don't do your exercise, you feel that you've missed out something. That is because you've missed out your endorphin. It's a nice way of positive addiction. You've got that nice happy hormone painkiller, which is easing you, relaxing you, soothing you. So endorphin, it eases your pain and ache and makes you feel more energetic. So that is endorphin. So you need to exercise every day. That's the message there. Serotonin is another happy hormone or feel-good hormone, which is produced when you actually help out somebody, when you actually get into some kind of altruistic behavior, when you actually spread smile on someone's face, when you go out and help someone with no intention of return. It is a philanthropic, altruistic, selfless behavior by helping out, reaching out to someone. It could be anything small. Diwali is around the corner. You start distributing, sharing things with somebody, and you bring that little smile on your housemate's face, or you bring a smile on this security guard in your apartment. You donate something very simple to him or her, and you get that smile on happiness. This reward, what you get by reaching out to people, there is this serotonin that is produced in your body. Just by making somebody happy, making yourself feel good about it, genuinely reaching out to someone, serotonin, the second feel-good hormone, is produced in your body. So sometimes you need to be selfish. You're helping not just to help out that person, you're also helping so that you're helping your own self, serotonin. So see to it, look out for more opportunities where you can help people. In fact, the best exercise for the heart is to bend down and lift up somebody who is lower than you. So lift up that one person, make a difference to his or her life. When you bring that smile on his or her face, you are being benefited with this feel-good second neurotransmitter, serotonin, which is a happy hormone. What does serotonin do? It improves your immunity. It improves your mental health. It gives you better sleep. So, at least for our own self, reach out to someone. I'm just telling you in a lighter way, but it's very good to selflessly indulge in helping people. So get yourself involved in social service activities, join philanthropic clubs like Rotary, Lions, or any kind of social welfare organizations, or do some kind of activity. Get involved. It's good for your own heart, mind, and body. And serotonin is also produced by having a good gut health. That's very important. And then having a glass of milk with warm milk with a little honey or sugar just before bedtime also helps in the production of serotonin, the neurotransmitter. and it induces good sleep. And the third one in the 4 series was DOSE, oxytocin. Oxytocin is the next neurotransmitter, the feel good hormone, which is produced in our body when you get connected to people in the physical self. A nice, genuine, healthy, warm hug or a pat on the shoulder. When a mother embraces her child, cuddles her baby, breastfeeds her baby, or the close hugs and the connects, the warm handshake, the positive physical touch, what we experience in our day-to-day life, the third neurotransmitter, oxytocin, is produced. This is another happy hormone. That's exactly why in the pre-COVID days, if somebody is sick, you go next to the bed, sit with them and just place your hand in the palm and say, I am there for you. And that itself would ease the pain, make the person recover. But sorry, today we have to maintain social distancing. We have to wear masks. Let's come out of this phase and then let's get back to the previous times of good physical contact and touch. So that is how oxytocin is produced. So it is very important as a parent, if you have young children at home, getting close to them physically in a very healthy context, as long as I'm making them feel as long as they are comfortable. It's also, there's a difference between the comfort level, how comfortable your child is. Some children by nature are not so comfortable with the hugs and embraces. If the child is not comfortable, don't force them. But otherwise, sitting beside them, putting your arms across the shoulder, a warm hug, patting on the back. It is said that at least 5 to 6 such strokes, positive strokes in the form of physical touch, hug, embrace is very, very, very healthy for children. In fact, it is said that present days children are deprived of good physical healthy touch. They are sense or touch deprived. When children are touch deprived in the right sense, they may look at this fulfillment elsewhere. So that is when our children can get into wrong company or wrong habits or wrong touches. So if you can fulfill their need in terms of good physical comforting touch at home, you're fulfilling that need also. There is this particular need in children or in family members too. Your wife or your sibling, someone is feeling sick or someone is feeling low, just go and sit with them. Just hold your senior citizen, your ailing mother's or father's hand and tell them, Papa, I am there. I may not be there able to sit with you 24 hours. I have my business. I may not be able to, but when I come back these 10 minutes, I'm with you. Tell me what has happened. How have you been feeling? How was your day from morning? That old man, in that 10 minutes of that physical touch, he or she feels so much connected and half the problem is reduced. It is very important that oxytocin, you take time to get this oxytocin. And the last one, dopamine. Dopamine is another neurotransmitter that is produced in the body when you fulfill a task. You have set a target or a task for yourself and you have fulfilled it. It can be a simple or a big task. I want to keep my room clutter-free this weekend. I want to organize my desk. I want to wash my car. I want to clear my competitive exam. I want to do this, revise my syllabus once. Whatever it is, small or a big task. You have set a task for yourself and you have accomplished the task. So when you accomplish something which you wanted to, dopamine is produced. Your body feels good that I said this and I did this. That is another feel-good hormone. So all these 4, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin. This is what I said. Get a dose of it. Exercise, reach out to people, be in connect with people, and set out a task for yourself. Say it and do it. Walk your talk. You get your 4 neurotransmitters. With that, a good health. Thanks, Deepak sir, for reminding me. The next few minutes, I'll quickly look at your questions. In fact, today, my other session is already on. I need to go back. By 6:30, I'm in the midst of another very important session where I'm heading as a president. So today, I will not extend beyond 6:30. I shall exit at 6:30. For that sake, let me look at the question. Yes.
Ma'am, in fact, you have, today been taking up all the questions as they have been coming.
Yes, true, ma'am.
So,
True. That's what I've been doing.
In fact, we don't have very many questions in the beginning of the chat. We just have two questions actually at the
Yeah.
end, as in
Mhm.
how one is how can we take good care of our stomach, and
Okay.
the other question is if you could advise the best way of consuming chia seeds, how and in what form and in what time.
Okay, good. Chia seeds are a rich source of fiber, rich source of micronutrients. So chia seeds to be taken in soaked form. When you soak chia seeds, they develop a gelatinous coating around them. And once it is soaked overnight or a couple of hours in water, they are ready for consumption. So you can consume chia seeds in the form of nice sherbets. You can add it to your drink, a flavored milk, and then you add a teaspoon of soaked chia seeds with cold flavored milk with some vanilla essence or roux afza or whatever, and then you can drink it in that form. You can also add chia seeds, soaked chia seeds to your desserts as a topping, to your milkshakes. You can add it to your salads. But what I advise you is don't just put them into your mouth in the dry form, because what happens, they swell up if you don't drink enough water or it is not soaked well. And if you take it in the dry form, it swells up in your esophagus and it can become hazardous when they absorb water inside or the moisture and they swell up. That can be hazardous, so please soak chia seeds and use it. It can also be roasted, powdered and used as salad topping. So these are different ways of using chia seeds. Then uh, next question was,
Ma'am, the question was, this is the last question.
no, you
How,
repeated, you told me one question.
yeah, how can we take good care of our
Oh,
stomach?
okay, wonderful question. How can we take good care of stomach? Prophet Muhammad says, stomach is a storehouse of diseases, but food is a medicine. Almost all 80 to 90% of the diseases come or arise because of the kind of food we eat and because of the kind of health or the status of our gut health. So keeping that in mind, your gut health or stomach is very, very, very important. In fact, your immunity, the mental health, your total physical health, for that, the kind of gut health or your stomach is very, very important. So therefore, how do we keep our gut health or stomach healthy? For that, balanced diet, the timings, quantity, the quality, the variety of foods, all that which I've been talking in my previous sessions, all that very, very important. Never abuse your stomach. That 80-20 rule, what I was telling you, 80% of the time eat right, 20% of the time indulging, adding colors to your diet, drinking adequate quantity of water, not abusing with over quantity of junk, all that, whatever I've told you. Please remember, that's all very important for your stomach health. Apart from that, very importantly, the probiotics, if I have not mentioned earlier, probiotics are very important for your gut health. What are probiotics? The fermented foods in the form of curds, kefir, it could be the sour or the fermented foods. So fermented foods put back the good bacteria in the stomach. How do we enjoy good gut health is because of the microbiome, the gut microbiota, what we say. In our stomach, there are millions of bacteria, the good bacteria which help in digesting your food, for your immunity levels, all that. The good bacteria. The key to good stomach health is improving the variety and the quantity of the gut microbiome. There are different variety of gut microbiome. So the richer the variety, the denser the colony of the gut microbiome, the better will be your stomach health, your physical health and the mental health. So what is it that we need to do? Improve the variety of the colony of gut microbiota. How do we improve the variety? By eating variety of foods. That's exactly why I've been telling add more colors, eat foods from different groups. When you eat a variety or different types of food, the variety of gut microbiome also improves. The diversity improves, thereby your good health. Secondly, taking enough probiotics, very importantly. So good amount of curds, especially if you're having a rumbling tummy, disturbed stomach, etc. taking buttermilk, probiotics, curds, these are very good way of treating your stomach. That's exactly why I've told you, listen to yourself. If a particular food, the previous night's buffet or the wedding dinner has made you feel bloated or constipated or not feeling good, your energy levels are low, then that's when you have to kind of give a rest to your stomach. What is it that is easier, smoother on my stomach? Maybe a fruit meal for that one particular meal, maybe just a bowl of curds that day. So you need to quickly fix that aspect, because end of it, you are what you eat. So therefore, listen to your stomach, don't abuse it. Junk is a risk factor. Heavy meals, erratic meal times, alcohol, overindulgence in any of these negative food habits should be avoided. Instead, increase in variety of foods, probiotic foods, timing, spacing, quality of fruits and vegetables, fibrous diet extremely important, and taking good quantity of water. At the same time, managing your worry and hurry is also very important. If you are unnecessarily the worrying type, only looking at the circle of concern and not looking at the circle of control, that will again result in poor gut health. In fact, 80% of your gut neurons are in the stomach too. 80% of your mental health comes from your gut health. So keeping all this in mind, take care of your gut health. So I think I have answered. Quickly, if you can tell me how the today's session was. Let me hear it from you. Great, thank you. Thank you. It was very helpful, excellent, nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you. Lovely listening to all that. And lovely getting you all back over and over again every week. That's so nice. Okay, I think with this I take leave.
No, ma'am, just a minute. I'll take a moment because I would like to invite my colleague, Miss Harpreet Kaur Bahari, to just give a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Nidhi. A very good evening, everyone. On behalf of IQAC Sri Guru Nanak Dev Khalsa College, I would like to extend my thanks to Dr. Shobha for her valuable insights into the food, family, and health connect. Thank you so much, ma'am.
My
I
pleasure.
hope we all are going to benefit from her valuable inputs. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our principal sir, Dr. Gurmohinder Singh, for always encouraging us to reach new summits. I would like to thank the IQAC coordinator, Dr. Deepak Sharma, for his support and encouragement that he is always giving to the IQAC team to take up new challenges. The vote of thanks would be incomplete without thanking Dr. Neeta Dhingra, who is the force behind the mentoring group. A big thanks to the entire mentoring group and especially Ms. Nidhi Verma and Ms. Sukhwinder, who have worked tirelessly behind the scene for the success of this event. A special thanks to all those who attended the session and made it a huge success. Thanks again, everyone. And I hope that we all are going to benefit from these sessions, by Dr. Shobha. And I wish everyone good health. Thank you so much.
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, ma'am. And I just want to remind, we are back on 15th of November. That's a Sunday evening with yet another interesting topic. That's going to be food, periods, and you. So let's hope and be back on a Sunday, 15th November, to learn and interact once again. Thank you so much and happy weekend, Diwali to all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Pleasure.
May I remind everybody else also to do